Me again, Nancy, self-reliant mama, independent consultant with Thrive Life. I'm doing another jar meal today because I know you guys have been totally loving those. So I'm going to do beef stew today. And I have kind of a funny story about beef stew. Back from when I was a kid, it was one of those traumatizing childhood experiences. I'm sure you guys have had those too. But when I was about 3 years old, you know, my mom made beef stew a lot because it was inexpensive to make and it fed the whole family. Well, I just didn't like it. And, you know, the rule in our family was you have to clean your plate, right? So I just sat there and whined about the beef stew for the whole night. And so my dad had my mom feed it to me the next morning cold for breakfast. And, oh, you didn't think it was bad enough the night before and I had to eat it cold for breakfast? So I remember this vividly. I just sat there and cried and cried and cried because I didn't want to eat this. I just didn't like it. And so I sat there until my mom couldn't take it anymore and she didn't make me eat it. But I knew that from then on, if she made it again, I was going to have to eat that because there was no way I was going to eat it cold. So that's kind of my funny story. And I've actually never really liked beef stew, but I know since getting older, you know, my tastes have changed, so I can probably try it and maybe like it this time. So I'm going to use Chef Todd's recipe for the beef stew and I'm going to put it in a jar. And I'm actually making this as a gift to send to my grandpa who turns 94 this week. Pretty awesome, right? And so I think he's really going to love this. And it's another quick and easy meal. So him and my grandma can make this, you know, for the two of them. I'm going to have some leftovers for a couple of days. It's going to make about 6 cups of stew. So it'll be a nice, good, hearty meal. You know, it's cold where they are now. Temperatures are dropping, so this will be a nice comfort meal. So I'm going to bring it down here. If you guys had a chance to watch this month's Thrive It Up with Chef Todd, you'll be totally amazed. He used the ingredients from the October specials to make soups, and he made 4 different soups in about 20 minutes. It was totally amazing. And he even made homemade noodles. I had no idea pasta was that easy to make, so I'm going to have to try that. But let's get started with the stew. And hang on one second, forgot my funnel. So yeah, I just got my Q shipment today and I was so excited about that to get my beef dices. I want to show you guys these beef dices. Look at those big chunks of beef. And I tried one of these by itself. It tastes like beef jerky. And I tell you what, my dog loves them, but that's only going to be a treat. We're not giving her these for a dog treat very often. But you see how those nice big beef chunks. And so this is already cooked and it's freeze dried and it's ready to go. I love that. So ½ a cup of beef dices is what we're going to start with. I'm going to put that right down in the bottom of the jar. And then we're going to put potatoes right on top of that because you know we like good hearty potatoes in our beef stew. And I use the potato chunks, which are the dehydrated ones, rather than the freeze-dried because I didn't want them to break down too much and be more like mashed potatoes. So these are going to hold their shape a lot better than the freeze-dried ones. So you get those little potatoes in there. Nice layers going on. And then we're going to add some green onions, some of the Thrive green onions, right on top. And I'll spread those out just a little bit with my spoon so we can see those. We like to see all those colorful layers, especially when you're giving these as gifts. It's so pretty. Okay, my spoon won't reach down there, so we're going to shake it a little bit. You can give it a little shake. Shaky, shaky. So yeah, all those layers in there, it's just really visually appealing, so I like that. And then my favorite, the Thrive chopped onions, and we're going to add a ½ cup of the chopped onions with some flavor right there. And again, I love the chopped onions because they're already chopped for me, and I don't have to do that and water my eyes up. Do we like that? Yeah, we like that. Okay, and then the next, we're going to use the Thrive Espanol sauce. And this is our rich beef gravy. This is one of our new mother sauces, and this one is so good. I made it just straight as a beef gravy for potatoes, and it's awesome. But this will thicken up our stew and give it that nice, rich beef flavor, as if you were adding bouillon or beef stock or something like that. So this is going to add a thickener and our beef flavor. So I'm going to put that Espanol sauce, and this is 1/3 of a cup of the sauce. So that will be enough with the liquid to thicken it just the way we want it. Okay? A little shaky shaky there. And then we're going to put our seasonings right on top. And I'm going to use the Thrive Italian and the Thrive Chef Choice. Those two together will be awesome flavor in here. So, and it doesn't take much, so just a teaspoon of the Italian. And the Chef's Choice is kind of strong. It's a little bit peppery. So you want to be careful with that one. So we're only going to use a half a teaspoon of that one in there. And again, these freeze-dried herbs are just amazing because they're so much closer to fresh than you can get with regular dried herbs that you would buy from the grocery store. Okay, you can see our seasoning right there. So yeah, when this cooks, it's going to smell amazing because you'll get all those nice fresh herbs going on in the kitchen. So I know Grandma's going to love that, especially since it's just add water. They don't have to do anything. They're really, really going to like this meal. So a little Chef's Choice on top there. Okay, and now let's add our veggies. You know, a good hearty beef stew needs a lot of veggies, right? So we're going to start with our mushrooms, and we're going to put a third of a cup of the freeze-dried mushrooms, my son's favorite snack actually. He loves to snack on those. Okay, and then some zucchini. We've also got a third of a cup of zucchini in here, and these are nice big quartered chunks. Okay, and these probably need a little smash so we make room for the rest of them. Okay, and I like to alternate the colors so it gives a nice little visual effect there. So the next we're going to put in the carrot dices, and we've got about 3 tablespoons of the carrots. You know, I think that was one of the things that I didn't like about the beef stew was the cooked carrots. I've never really been a fan of cooked carrots. Steamed carrots are okay, but the squishy kind, yeah, not so much for me. So I think maybe that was one of the problems I had with it. Okay, those beautiful orange carrots in there. And next for our flavor is the celery. We got a half a cup of the Thrive freeze-dried celery here. Spread that out, give it a little push down. So we got 2 more ingredients to go. Okay, next we're going to throw in some Thrive tomato dices, and I love these. These are like fresh tomato flavor, which you can't really even get from the store because the tomatoes just taste blah, you know, but I'm used to fresh tomatoes from the garden, and so are my grandparents. They had a garden for years, so I know they're really going to appreciate the fresh tomato flavor from these tomatoes in here. Okay, give that a little squish. And then we'll try to fit our peas at the top. I know it's getting a little cramped in there, so I have measured out a half a cup of peas. I'm not sure they're all going to quite fit in here, but we'll just fill the jar to the top with as much peas as we can squeeze in there. They want to kind of roll around, but that's alright. Maybe we can get them all in. Room for everybody? Get cozy in there. Awesome, we got them all in. So the lid will fit right on there. And there you have it. There is that nice, pretty beef stew. Look at all that. Look at all that color. Isn't that awesome? That looks delicious. See, now I would probably even eat that. So I'm going to wrap that up in a box and send it to my grandparents, and they can have a nice happy birthday meal this weekend. And I'm also going to give them a jar or a can of the Thrive brownie mix, which is also super simple. It's just add water. Yeah, and you have delicious brownies, so they're really going to enjoy this meal, and I hope you enjoyed my video on the Thrive beef stew from Chef Todd in a jar, and I'll post the recipe up on my blog. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.